Welcome to the City of Savannah Restoration Project. The original City of Savannah was the 5,000th airplane processed through Hunter Army Airfield here in Savannah during World War II. The restoration of our B-17 is dedicated to all the aircrew members that perished while engaged in missions over Europe during the war. After the war, this B-17 was sold to Kenting Aviation of Canada for aerial survey work. It later returned to the U.S., where it served as a forest fire water bomber. It was eventually acquired by the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum and stored in a hangar at Dulles International Airport near Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian donated the aircraft to the mighty 8th Air Force Museum, who then sent a team of volunteers and contractors to transport the plane to Savannah. In order to transport the airframe, it had to be disassembled. First, the 4 engines were removed and ready to be put on a flatbed trailer. Next, the tail, stabilizers, and wings were taken off. Thousands of rivets had to be removed to disconnect these items. The entire stripped fuselage was then loaded on a flatbed trailer and driven down I-95, arriving at the museum on January 4th, 2009. A crane was used to unload the aircraft parts. Here the engines are being offloaded. The wings were lifted down onto dollies. The garage door was removed and the opening made larger, so the disassembled airplane could be rolled into the museum. Parts of the wing had to be carried in by hand. Finally, the fuselage was removed from the flatbed and also placed on a dolly. Even though the doorway had been enlarged, more of the tail had to be removed from the fuselage so it could be squeezed through the opening and into the museum. The aircraft was then reassembled on the museum floor. First the wings, then the tail, and finally the engines. The volunteers then set to work scraping off old paint from the fuselage and the wings. Then they polished the plane's exterior to attain the high gloss that you see today. Restoration of the interior of the aircraft required the removal of the avionics and other parts so they could be cataloged. The interior could then be cleaned down to bare metal using grinders, steam jets, and even jets of dry ice pellets in preparation for painting. Here you see the cockpit and the fuselage after application of the new paint. This is what the interior of the aft fuselage will look like when all the parts have been reinstalled. Our goal is to restore the aircraft as closely as possible to its original configuration, and the completion of the nose art was an important step in that direction. Going forward, these are the major tasks in achieving that goal. The installation of the aircraft wiring, application of the exterior markings, installing a functioning radio room, reinstalling the cockpit, installing the 4 gun turrets, and completing and installing the woodwork. We hope that you will visit us again as the restoration progresses, and from all the volunteers of the City of Savannah Restoration Team, thank you.